Now it sounds all cool, right? Future Forge. But what is it really? What does it mean? What does forging have to do with life? Well, today I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain what the Future Forge is all about. We're going to go into subconscious limiting belief systems and how we can transform them into an amazing piece of equipment, a tool, a weapon to assist us on defeating all enemies and assisting us on our adventure. Let's get into it. The human brain is the greatest piece of technology to ever be created. Unfortunately, it's 40,000 years old. It's about time we upgrade and adapt our software to be happy and succeed in this new world, where psychological performance is the key to your desired destiny. I'm Tyler McCullough, and you're listening to The Future Forge. Welcome to the show. Here, I'm going to explain what Future Forge is, what it represents, and what it means to forge your own future. You know, I was, a couple years ago, I got super into forging with an anvil, a forge, and I made a bunch of knives and pizza cutters and axes and cool things by putting raw steel in, 30,000 degree heat and hammering it until it became what I wanted it to be. A beautiful tool for me to use to slice throats and all kinds of cool stuff like that. And I think that that process is so symbolic to life in general that this is what I wanted to base my whole brand and way of explaining things off of, because it's an amazing process. It's very fun, super cool, and I just love it a lot. And it means a lot to me because it makes so much sense to the way I think about forging your future or manifesting your destiny. So let's get into it. If you're watching on YouTube, I got a little presentation. If you're listening, I'm just going to talk to you right now in your ears while you're driving, while you're chilling with your headphones, working out, walking, whatever you're doing right now. I'm just going to be in your head and I'm going to explain what this entire Future Forge thing is all about. The main thing holding us all back from reaching the goals, doing the things that scare us, and really becoming that new version of ourselves needed in order to reach these goals and do these things with our lives that we can only dream of. It's these subconscious blockages and it's the subconscious belief systems that have been ingrained in our brains from childhood, from traumatic experiences, whether it's the way your parents treated you, whether it's your loved ones telling you you'll never be able to do that, whether it's a traumatic heartbreak, a relationship that you went through, losing a loved one in a traumatic way that, you'll always remember. And even if it's not a human, even if it's like one of your dogs, every single traumatic experience, every significant emotional experience in your life has formed a subconscious belief system that could definitely be inhibiting your progress to make it to that next level. Whether it's being afraid to get into a new relationship because at its most passionate point in your last relationship, that's when it ended. So it's hard for you to really get deep in a relationship with someone else, because at the most passionate point in your past relationship, that's when it broke your heart the hardest, and you don't want to face that pain again. So you kind of draw back that love, draw back that passion, so that you'll never be hurt and you'll never be vulnerable enough to feel that pain again. The thing is if you never let that subconscious belief go, that passion in a relationship equals ungodly amounts of pain, then you'll never experience that the beauty and the amazingness that a incredibly passionate relationship could create. So you're missing out on such a beautiful thing. Just like with other situations, you're going to miss out on the goals that you're going to be able to hit because of a traumatic experience that happened in the past that caused so much pain, and you don't want to leave yourself vulnerable enough to get hurt like you did in the past. And this kind of thing goes for media as well. I mean, we're in a time right now where media is censoring the shit out of so many things, not only politics, but just everything. And it's brainwashing, the population, society to think a certain way. They're using, the the arrowhead against us. They know these sciences, and they know the law of attraction, and they're able to direct our focus so that the hive mind, the collective consciousness focuses on the same thing so that it then manifests. And that's exactly what they want. They want a certain agenda to be manifested. So they use the media, and they use, influencers and celebrities and all these different people to brainwash us into believing the narrative that they are creating so that it becomes reality. And that is where it is such a problem, because the negativity that gets put out on the TV and on the internet and on social media so often, you never see good stuff anymore. It's always bad news. They're hijacking the minds of us and using and turning them against us so that we are not able to evolve into greater humans. We don't have the potential to, shape our own arrowheads and forge our own tools, because they have been able to figure out the ways throughout time. They've been able to come up with such intricate strategies and systems to hijack our mental and use it against us. So we are completely so far gone, so far away from bettering our own lives, that we end up just becoming a part of this collective consciousness and completely lose sense of self and how we can create our own future, because we think that we are held back by something, or there's always a problem that is preventing us from reaching these things. Once you realize that you are in control of your entire life, once you realize that your future is completely up to you. Yeah, some people have had more traumatic experiences than others, way worse than others. And some, have had it better than others. But it's up to you to make the decision in the moment now to go ahead and forge your own future and make the decision to better yourself and work daily on this new version of you so that you can reach your destiny that you desire. And traumatic experiences get logged in like a hard drive to the back of our minds, and they replay the same habits a lot of the time. Almost 99% of the day is run by the back of our mind. We're not consciously thinking, we're not intentional with our behaviors. And it's sad because, I deal with it daily, where I have to snap myself out of the unconscious mind running my day and fighting, and my ego running my life. It's so easy to just go in autopilot and let your mind kind of run everything, because when you identify with your mind, then it's over. Once you disidentify with the subconscious, with the traumatic experiences, with your pain in your past, then you can understand that every decision in the moment is a new start to something greater. But the pain that these traumatic experiences have caused are so powerful that it takes some serious digging and serious work to get them out of our subconscious. And here I'm going to help you understand what subconscious belief systems are and how we can dig them up, understand what they are, look them in the face and say, you are not welcome anymore. You know what I'm saying? But not that they didn't happen, but that you are not going to stop my progress anymore. You are not going to hold me back from growing anymore. It's it. It's over. I'm done. That was in the past. Doesn't matter. Now we're going to start a new, fresh life and see some serious growth. All right. I like to think of the subconscious mind as an iceberg. You've always seen those corny old posters in offices or in your school or in your principal's office where there's the iceberg and the only thing that everybody sees is the tip. But there's so much more, right? There's so much more to the iceberg than just the tip. There's like 90% of the iceberg is underwater that you can't see. And the exact same thing goes with the conscious mind. All you see, all you can actually understand is the consciousness, is the conscious mind. That's all you, that's why when you hear the term, well, we only use 10% of our brains. That's because we're only able to use the conscious mind. The rest of the 90% of your mind, of your brain, is all unconscious. It's stored memories. It's traumatic experiences. It's like all of these belief systems that you've acquired over time throughout your experience in life that you don't see necessarily, you don't really think about, but they completely control your every decision, your every behavior. It's like a habit. These are habits, right? They're unintentional habits that run daily throughout your life that really control your destiny. And until you really can notice it, until you can really notice that the habits that you've accumulated over time, you just run on autopilot. It's harder to change your habits because if you don't realize that they're unconscious habits that need to change, how are you going to grow? You can't grow with 10% of your mind. You have to take control of that unconscious and say, this right here is not serving me. And although it's completely real and all of the beliefs are actually trying to serve me, because the brain is 400,000 years old, 40,000 years old, I believe. The human brain was developed. The first signs of the human brain, of a developed human brain, was 40,000 years ago. This is a time when we were cavemen. This is a time when we were fighting saber-toothed tigers and bears and having to survive in the wilderness with spears, where you get hunted down by a cougar and you survive. But all of the events leading up to that are stored in your mind so that you don't make the wrong decision again, so that you don't have to feel the pain of that cougar eating your arm off, right? Of that saber-toothed tiger ripping into your chest. That is actual pain. That is actual survival. The problem is now is the 90% of our unconscious. We're not fighting lions, tigers, and bears anymore. We're fighting judgment. We're fighting, worthiness issues. And these limiting belief systems that our subconscious holds they're superficial. They're not life and death, and they're irrational. They don't make sense because we've associated things that aren't actually the problem as the problem. The thing, like let's say a baby, right? A baby's crawling on the countertop. It falls off the counter and the carpet is green. Splat, boom, baby's almost out cold. Splatted on the floor. Now, the first thing that baby sees is green carpet. And that's when it feels the pain. So the baby associates green carpet to the pain that fall created, right? Didn't associate the fall to the pain. It associated the green carpet to the pain because that's the moment it felt the pain. So let's say the baby does the same thing again. crawling on the countertop like an idiot. And then, boom, splat, down on the floor, green carpet again. Oh my God, green carpet it hurts me. This is a problem. I can't be near green carpet anymore. I'm scared of it. The baby, I mean, yeah, it's dumb baby, but that's the same way our brains work. We are just adult babies. So now let's change the scene. So the mom takes it to a friend's house. Baby's crawling on the countertop. Obviously a bad mom, because who lets their baby crawl on a countertop 3 times and lets it fall? So let's see, boom, splat, baby splats on the ground. This time the carpet is tan. Oh my gosh. Whoa, maybe it wasn't the green carpet that's causing the pain. Maybe it was the actual countertop falling off of the countertop that's the reason for all this pain. And it takes being aware of what is the actual source, what is actually happening to cause this pain in my life. Because most of us just see the green carpet and say, oh my God, it's the green carpet. But until it happens over and over and over again, and you start to question, what the hell? Why does this keep happening? Then you can kind of look from afar and say, oh my God, well, the carpet changed this time, but the outcome is still the same. Maybe it's not the carpet that's hurting me. Maybe it's falling off the countertop. And before this, the baby's subconscious mind stored green carpet as the source of the pain. So it was afraid to ever go on green carpet again. But it took the fall onto the tan carpet, where the baby finally made the association, the right association of where the pain came from. But that first situation caused these subconscious blockages. So in the future, that baby could still feel the fear of green carpet, because that neuroassociation is still stored in the brain. So maybe when he's 13 years old, he goes into his friend's house that has green carpet, and he's scared to death. He doesn't know why. He just gets this overwhelming feeling of anxiety, and he doesn't know why. Things are just racing through his mind. Oh my God, what is going to happen? I feel in danger. I feel like I'm going to die. I feel like I'm going to be hurt right now. Why is this happening? It's because there's that subconscious neuroassociation of that fear of green carpet. Because when he was 3 months old, green carpet caused him so much pain because his mind thought that green carpet was the problem. So, done beating that dead horse. 10% of our brain is intentional. The other 90% is unintentional habits. 10% intentional choice, 90% unintentional habits. And until we kind of step back from afar and think about all the things we do on a day-to-day basis, we're never going to be able to uncover them. So we have to actually think about what it is that is causing us to do these things, and really look into our past and say, why am I afraid of this? Why do I believe this thing that really isn't true? What is this story that I'm telling myself? Where did it come from? Because it's not true. It's not the truth. When someone can look into your life and say, that's not real. What you believe is false. Then your mind gets shattered and you think, why did I believe that in the first place? And you can go back and look and say, oh my God, that's been with me for so long. And I'm still here. Now I can change it. Once you understand and notice these patterns and habits, you can change them. And it just controls it. It's like a little brain with a remote control, and you have a little antenna on the back of your head, and your brain is just playing video games. It's playing the same levels over and over and over again because it loves them. It's comfortable. The brain is just playing you like a video game. You're unconscious. It's in control of your habits. It's in control of your behaviors. It's in control of your beliefs, your patterns. All of your decisions are based off of the pain and pleasure of your subconscious beliefs. It's in charge of the meaning that you give things, like the way that your dad talked to you when you were a kid. The same, if your boyfriend talks to you the same way that your dad talks to you, but doesn't mean the same thing, you're going to put the meaning that your dad was yelling at you about, was backhandedly talking to you like, in the same context that I talk to you like. Even though I don't mean to backhandedly say anything to you, you're going to think I did because your neuroassociation of the way that I'm talking is painful. It's in charge of the focus that you give things, where your focus is. It's in charge of your physiology, how your head is down most of the time, how you're slouched. That's all subconscious habits. It's what you've done to feel safe. These are all ways that your brain is trying to protect you from getting hurt, because it has been hurt in the past, and your brain wants you to be safe. It wants you to survive. The problem is we don't have to survive anymore. We just have to live. And it's hard to live when we have so many subconscious beliefs and habits that prevent us from reaching our goals and doing what we really want and being happy and loving and joyful. All these things, the communication is all rooted from the subconscious mind. So the way that I like to explain the subconscious, I guess, is an experience library, right? It's like, in Monsters Inc. or what movie was it, when they go in this, or let's use Bruce Almighty, right? He opens that drawer, the drawer when he meets God, and it just blows him back. It's literally the biggest file cabinet to ever exist in humanity. And each one of those files is an experience that you had. But there's so many, you will never be able to read them in your entire life. You'll never be able to open them up and read every single one of them to find out which one it is. But they're categorized. The problem is if you think about it as in a library, it's uncovering subconscious beliefs and neuroassociations and traumatic experiences that cause you to do what you do today. It's kind of like going in to a library with all the lights off and trying to find the one specific book that is causing you to do these things. You hit your shin because it's so damn dark. You hit your shin on a freaking thing and you give up. You hit your shin on a bench and you just give up. You're like, dude, this is too hard. I'm never going to be able to do it. Damn it. But what you need is a freaking flashlight, dude. You need an investigation flashlight so you can go and you can shine on all these books. And you can say, oh my God, I'm looking for why do I keep sabotaging my relationships? You go to the relationship section because you got a flashlight. Now you can see all these experiences. You can go to the relationship section and figure out all the painful experiences you had in relationships. And you go out and you find the unworthiness experiences. What caused you to feel unworthy? And now you can start to really understand that it wasn't the person saying these specific words to you. It was the fact that they actually had a problem with themselves and took their insecurities out on you. It is not anything about you. It is actually the other person taking their insecurities out on you and making you feel unworthy. They were projecting onto you. So now you can kind of free yourself of this unworthiness that you feel now with your relationships when you're talked to a specific way. Because most definitely, just by the words that someone uses with you does not mean they are trying to make you feel unworthy, does not mean they think you're less than them, and does not mean they think you're stupid. But it takes that flashlight so you can find that specific book that you're looking for so that you can then understand the real reason as to why you felt like this in the first place, and that it was wrong, that it was not the truth, and that you're free now because now you understand what was causing this in the past, and now you know how to fix it. You know, now when this comes up, I gotta understand that that's not what they meant. And so what is the flashlight? The flashlight is is like someone asking you the right questions to dig up these beliefs and where they came from. Now, you're not probably not going to be able to find someone to interview you so that you can answer these questions and expect them to know the exact questions so that they can dig up your subconscious blockages. But you can ask yourself these questions. You can ask yourself the proper questions to find out where the root cause is. And just a quick little quote here: the quality of your life is all about the quality of questions that you ask yourself. So ask yourself smart questions that are actually going to give you the right answers. If you ask yourself a million questions that you're not going to be able to get the answer to, you're going to be overwhelmed, you're going to have anxiety, and you're going to be sad because you're going to suffer. If you don't have control over anything in your life, that's when suffering comes. So when you don't have the answer to your questions, you're just going to be sad. You're going to give up. So ask yourself smart questions that are going to assist you in finding the answers instead of inhibiting you. So we just got to break free from the mind control of our subconscious. And that's where it starts. Once you can break free of the subconscious habits that you've created to protect yourself from situations that don't exist anymore, then you can start to build and grow from anew with no more of those dead leaves that are holding you back, that you're trying to nurture and trying to save. Let them go. Let them fall. Let them die so you can grow into an amazing tree. All right. So this is your library. Your library is basically a giant chunk of steel. Here's where we're going to get into the forging, okay? So your mind in this scenario is this giant hunk of subconscious traumatic experiences that have shaped you into who you are today. And who you are today is not who you are in the future. Just like you are not who you were in the past. Your past is not equal to future. Your past is not equal to present. The present moment is all you have. So the thing is with this, all of the subconscious shit that has accumulated in your mind throughout your entire life is now this heavy weight in your brain. It's this giant hunk of steel. It's your library. It's the file cabinet of all the shit that you've gone through, right? So what do we need to do? We need to put it in the fucking forge and light it on fire. Put it in 3,500 degree forge. You need to put your subconscious limitations in the fire and get them hot, pliable, right? So what does the fire represent? The fire represents facing your fears, doing what scares you the most, and you become vulnerable. You need to be able to become vulnerable. Just like the steel needs to be able to become pliable. Once you become vulnerable, you'll fail, and you'll realize it's not even that bad. And you'll get up and you'll tweak. You'll tweak these things that you've learned from your failures. You'll get up and you'll do better next time, right? The forging process is not one go in the fire. You don't put this giant hunk of steel in the fire and expect to have a beautiful sword when you pull it out, right? You have to relentlessly hammer this thing over and put it in the fire, pull it out, hammer it, hammer it, hammer it until it becomes cold again. Then you put it back in the fire. You pull it out, you boom, 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 hammer it. And you don't just hammer it for nothing, right? You don't just hammer it for no reason. You're hammering it because you have this blueprint. You have this tool, the sword, the axe, the hammer, whatever you want to create from your steel to assist you with your journey. You have a blueprint. You have a plan as to what you want to make. You have a vision as to what you want this sword to look like. So every time you hammer it, you're hammering it in specific ways to create the shape of your blueprint. So you put it in the fire once more after what? 800 times. You put yourself in the fire as much as you possibly can so that you can continue to hammer the pliable steel, the vulnerable subconscious, and you boom, 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 shape that thing until you get an amazing, beautiful freaking sword. Now, what does this sword represent? This sword represents your mind. It represents the way that you go about life. Your entire life comes from your brain. The decisions you make, the actions you take on a day-to-day basis are going to determine your destiny. So you need to have a fucking sword, a tool that is going to assist you. So when things get rough, when dragons appear in your fucking world, when these giant monsters come in and try to stop you from your journey, from getting to the freaking gold, the treasure, you're able to take that sword and you're able to slice the head of any dragon that gets in your way. You're able to defeat any enemy in your adventure's path. And without forging that weight in your brain, if you just came in with a brick of steel and tried to throw it at the dragon, it's not going to do shit. But we need to prepare you for this adventure. We need to prepare you for this journey so that when you get to those dragons, you're not going to die. Do you understand what I'm saying? We need to prepare you for your journey. And that's what future forging is all about, baby. It's about taking your subconscious limitations, forging them into something beautiful, magnificent, and powerful as a tool to go on whatever journey you're about to embark on. We need to make sure you are protected and you have the weapons in order to complete this journey. And so we need to forge your psychology from this giant hunk of steel, this heavy steel that's going to weigh you down. You're not going to be able to make it 100,000 miles with a big ass hunk of steel because all it's going to do is weigh you down. You can't fight anybody with your giant hunk of steel. All you can do is throw it, and it takes a lot of energy to throw that thing. But when you can shave it down, when you can hammer, when you can shape it into a beautiful sword, a weapon that you can use to advance, to destroy these enemies, to use as a tool to chop wood, to start fires, to get food, then you're going to make it a hell of a lot further. A hell of a lot further. You're going to be able to actually complete your journey with the most beautiful sword ever. And along the journey, there's definitely going to be blacksmithing shops where you can stop in and heat your sword up and hammer it and frickin' hammer it until it is exactly what you need for this next journey. There's tons and tons of blacksmithing shops on the way. But unless you throw this thing in the fire, then you'll never be able to shape it. And that's the point of Future Forge. It's throwing yourself in the fire, throwing those limiting beliefs into the 3,500 degree heat and hammering them relentlessly until you shape your mind to assist you, to use as a tool, to use as an instrument instead of letting it use you, instead of controlling you and running the show. It's time to take this thing by the handle and slice some dragon heads, baby. So that's it. That's Future Forge right there. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate if you left a review on this podcast. It's going to be great. I'm glad that I could get the explanation out to you. You to understand what you're getting into by listening to this thing. It's really just going to be a giant journey of growth and adventure, and a journey that's going to have a lot of monsters. That's life. Life is not easy. And that's a rough thing for a lot of people, younger people, to hear, because everybody's all victimized. Everybody is all butthurt that they didn't think that life was as easy as their parents said, or life was as easy as, you just go to college, you get a job, and you live. That's it. It's a lot harder than that. It's a lot harder than you think. And for those of you who have been through some crazy shit, you understand. And don't let it affect your mind. Don't let it inhibit your mind. I know that the crazy shit that you've gone through has been traumatic, has been very detrimental to how you think today. But it's time to let the past be the past. And it's time to forge our futures. It's time to forge our mind into the weapon that's going to carry us along our journey to reach whatever desired destiny that you want. And I'm here to assist you. So we're going to get into awesome teachings in the future. I just wanted to kind of explain what the Future Forge is, because I know some people are like, well, why is it called the Future Forge? Well, here it is. Here's my explanation. And I hope you liked it. I hope you leave a review. If you want me to help you out with any situation that you're going through, go ahead and email askfutureforge@gmail.com. That's askfutureforge@gmail.com. I'm doing some Q&As as well. So I believe, make sure it's detailed. I want to get into your situation. I want to be able to kind of put myself in your shoes so that I can kind of see the problem for what it is. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll talk later. Take care. Wow. You made it to the very end. Listen to the whole damn thing. Thank you. I am incredibly flattered. Well, again, if you would like to ask me a question, I'm always open to answering them in podcast form. Just email me at askfutureforge@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, keep those intentions strong, baby. Yeah.